Welcome back to another deep dive into Stoicism. Today we're exploring Stoicism, rational mind versus emotions, a subject crucial to how we handle daily decisions and challenges. Ever found yourself making a quick decision, driven by emotion, and regretting it later? This video will show you how to develop a rational mind and manage emotions, even in the most intense situations. Stay with me until the end, because I'll share a powerful Stoic practice you can use daily to achieve mental clarity and emotional balance. You won't want to miss this. Before we jump in, don't forget to hit subscribe if you enjoy insights on Stoic philosophy and self-improvement. Let's continue our journey towards self-mastery together. What is rational thinking in Stoicism? In Stoic philosophy, rational thinking is about using logic and reason to navigate life's challenges. The Stoics believe that reason, not emotion, should guide our decisions. But let's be honest, how often do we let emotions take over? Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor and one of the most famous Stoic philosophers, said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." What does this mean? Simply put, we can't control everything that happens to us, but we can control how we respond. And that's the essence of rational thinking in Stoicism. Imagine you're in a stressful situation. Let's say you're stuck in traffic and late for an important meeting. Your emotions might scream at you to get frustrated, honk the horn, or lash out. But what if instead you paused, took a deep breath, and asked yourself, what's the rational thing to do here? By doing so, you shift from reactive thinking, where emotions rule, to proactive thinking, where logic leads the way. Emotions, a double-edged sword. Now let's talk about emotions. We all experience them. Joy, sadness, fear, anger. But when emotions are left unchecked, they can become dangerous. Why? Because they can push us to make irrational choices. Consider the last time you made a decision out of anger or fear. Maybe you snapped at a loved one or made a rash choice you later regretted. How did that turn out for you? More often than not, it leaves us wishing we had acted differently. Epictetus, another key Stoic philosopher, said, "We suffer not from the events in our lives, but from our judgment about them." What does this mean? It's not the situation itself that causes us pain. It's how we interpret that situation. Think about it this way. Two people can experience the same event, but their emotional responses can be completely different. One person may see a job loss as a personal catastrophe, while another sees it as an opportunity for growth. The event is the same, but the judgment about the event is what shapes the emotional response. The Stoics teach us to observe our emotions, but not to let them control us. Instead of letting emotions dictate our actions, we should step back and assess them. This way, we can respond to situations logically and thoughtfully, rather than being swept away by emotional waves. The practice of self-reflection. One of the most important Stoic tools for developing a rational mind is self-reflection. The Stoics practice daily self-examination, asking themselves tough questions. Did I act in line with my values today? Did I let emotions override my reason? Marcus Aurelius famously kept a journal where he reflected on his actions and thoughts. This practice helped him maintain clarity of mind while ruling over an empire. So how can you incorporate this into your life? Start by spending 5 minutes at the end of each day writing down one moment where you allowed emotions to take control. Then think about how you could have handled the situation more rationally. Over time, this practice rewires your brain. By reflecting on your actions, you begin to notice patterns. Perhaps you react emotionally when you're tired or stressed. With this knowledge, you can start addressing those triggers and make more conscious, thoughtful decisions. Self-reflection isn't about self-criticism. It's about gaining insight and improving day by day. Have you experienced a situation where emotions took the driver's seat? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear your story and discuss how Stoic thinking could have changed your approach. Accepting what you can't control. Let's be real. There are so many things in life we can't control. The weather, other people's behavior, unexpected events. So why waste energy stressing about them? One of the most powerful Stoic ideas is accepting what you cannot control. Marcus Aurelius said, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." In other words, obstacles aren't just things that block our path. They can become the very thing that leads us forward. Imagine you're stuck in traffic again, late for that meeting. You can't control the traffic. But what if, instead of fuming in frustration, you saw the situation as an opportunity? Maybe it's a chance to listen to an insightful podcast, call a friend you haven't spoken to in a while, or simply practice mindfulness and be present in the moment. The Stoics teach that we can't control what happens to us, but we can always control how we react. Accepting this truth helps us let go of stress, anxiety, and frustration, and gives us the mental space to focus on what we can control, our own thoughts and actions. Emotional mastery. Let's dive deeper into emotional mastery. Controlling emotions doesn't mean you never feel them. It means you don't let them dictate your actions. It's easy to get caught up in emotions, especially when we're angry or afraid. But Stoicism teaches us that, with practice, we can step back, observe the emotion, and respond thoughtfully. Here's a powerful Stoic exercise. The next time you feel anger or anxiety creeping up, pause. Ask yourself, am I reacting with emotion or reason? By giving yourself a moment to breathe and reflect, you'll often find that you can approach the situation more calmly and rationally. For example, let's say you're about to give an important presentation and you're feeling anxious. Instead of letting that fear paralyze you, shift your focus to what you can control, your preparation, your delivery. Embrace the nerves as part of the process, but don't let them control you. Remember, emotions are natural. The Stoics didn't advocate for repressing feelings. They advocated for understanding them and making rational choices in spite of them. Stick with me. At the end of this video, I'll share a powerful Stoic morning routine that will help you start each day with mental clarity and emotional balance. Living by virtue. At the heart of Stoicism is virtue. The idea that living a good life means living in alignment with values like wisdom, courage, and honesty. But living virtuously isn't always easy. Sometimes it means making hard choices that don't feel good in the moment, but align with what's right. Take honesty, for example. Maybe you made a mistake at work and are tempted to cover it up. It might feel easier in the short term, but in the long run, honesty is the virtuous and rational choice. Why? Because honesty builds trust, and trust leads to stronger relationships and better outcomes. Another key Stoic virtue is self-control. We all face temptations, whether it's that extra slice of cake or hitting snooze instead of getting up early. Practicing self-control helps us make decisions that align with our long-term goals, rather than giving in to short-term pleasure. Stoicism reminds us that virtue is the path to a fulfilling, rational life. Building your inner citadel. The Stoics often talked about the concept of the inner citadel, a mental fortress where we can retreat when the world becomes chaotic. In today's fast-paced world, we're bombarded with distractions. Social media, the 24-hour news cycle, other people's opinions. Protecting your inner citadel means setting boundaries and guarding your mental space. Are you letting external events, like a rude comment or a bad day at work, disrupt your peace? Marcus Aurelius believed that by guarding your inner citadel, you could stay calm and rational no matter what's happening around you. Building your inner citadel isn't about cutting yourself off from the world. It's about creating a space in your mind where you can retreat, reflect, and regain perspective. The cosmic perspective. Now let's zoom out and talk about one of the most profound ideas in Stoic philosophy, the cosmic perspective. The Stoics encourage us to see our lives within the grand scale of the universe. When you adopt this wide-angle view, many of your daily worries and frustrations shrink in significance. Marcus Aurelius often reminded himself of the vastness of the universe to gain perspective on his personal challenges. He famously wrote, "Look up at the stars and remind yourself of the vastness of the cosmos." For the Stoics, this wasn't about feeling small or insignificant, but about realizing that our problems are temporary and often trivial when seen in the grand scheme of things. Imagine for a moment that argument you had with a friend or that deadline at work you're stressing over. It feels huge right now, right? But what if you zoomed out and thought about it in the context of your entire life, or even in the context of human history? Suddenly, the weight of those problems lightens. They don't seem so monumental anymore. Stoicism teaches us that life's events are fleeting, and by embracing this cosmic perspective, we can learn to let go of the little things that often steal our peace. Here's a practical exercise. The next time you're overwhelmed by a problem, step back. Literally look up at the sky, whether it's the stars or the clouds, and remind yourself that in the vastness of the universe, this issue will pass. This isn't about minimizing your feelings. It's about gaining clarity and letting go of unnecessary stress. Embracing Amor Fati. One of the most empowering Stoic concepts is Amor Fati, which translates to love of fate. This idea challenges us to embrace everything that happens to us, good or bad, as essential parts of our journey. Instead of resisting or wishing things were different, Stoicism asks us to accept life as it unfolds and even love it. But what does it mean to love your fate, especially when things go wrong? Imagine you face a major setback. Maybe you didn't get the job you wanted, or a relationship ended unexpectedly. It's natural to feel disappointment, but Amor Fati teaches us to view these moments as opportunities for growth. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." In other words, every obstacle is a chance to develop, to build resilience, and to become wiser. Rather than seeing obstacles as roadblocks, Amor Fati encourages us to see them as the very path forward. It's a profound shift in perspective that frees us from bitterness or regret. After all, every challenge brings with it the possibility of learning something new, discovering an inner strength, or finding a better way forward. Here's a simple Stoic exercise you can apply. The next time something doesn't go your way, instead of asking, "Why me?" try asking, "What can I learn from this?" Or, "How can this make me stronger?" By shifting your mindset, you turn frustration into fuel for personal growth. Living in alignment with nature and virtue. The Stoics believe that to live a fulfilling life, we must live in alignment with nature. But what exactly does that mean? For the Stoics, nature referred to not just the physical world, but also the natural order of things, including human nature. Human beings, they believed, are rational creatures by design. So to live in alignment with nature means living in accordance with reason and virtue. In other words, it's about living in a way that makes the most of our capacity for rational thought, wisdom, courage, and justice. Marcus Aurelius often spoke of living in harmony with both the cosmos and our own nature. He said, "Live not as if you were destined to live forever. Your time is short, use it wisely." For the Stoics, living wisely meant making decisions that reflect our true nature, not just reacting to emotions or impulses, but acting with purpose and clarity. How can we apply this today? By recognizing that every decision we make should align with virtue. Are you acting with courage? Are you making wise choices that will benefit not just yourself but others? When faced with a difficult choice, ask yourself, is this in line with my highest values? Living according to nature doesn't mean being perfect. It means striving to be the best version of ourselves in every situation. The more we practice living with virtue, the more rational and peaceful our lives become. The Stoic morning routine for mental clarity. As promised, let's walk through a powerful Stoic morning routine, designed to help you start each day with mental clarity and balance. First, when you wake up, take a brief moment to reflect on life's fragility. Remember how precious it is to be alive. As Marcus Aurelius reminds us, when you arise in the morning, think of what a privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love. This reflection sets the tone for the day by focusing on what truly matters. Second, set your intentions for the day. Before diving into your tasks, ask yourself, what kind of person do I want to be today? Think less about outcomes and more about how you will approach the day, with patience, courage, or kindness. These intentions will guide your actions. Third, practice a moment of mindfulness and gratitude. Breathe deeply and think about what you're grateful for. Gratitude shifts your mindset from what's missing to what's present, setting a positive tone for the day. Fourth, visualize potential challenges. The Stoics called this premeditatio malorum, or the premeditation of evils. This doesn't mean dwelling on negativity. It's about preparing mentally for the difficulties that might arise. Picture yourself handling these challenges with calmness and rational thought. Fifth, start your day with action, not reaction. Avoid going straight to emails or social media first thing in the morning. Instead, focus on something proactive, a workout, a creative project, or quiet reflection. Begin your day with purpose, not distraction. By integrating these Stoic practices into your morning, you'll build a foundation of clarity, calmness, and control to guide you through the day. Thank you for joining me on this journey into Stoicism and rational thinking. If you found this video helpful, I encourage you to check out our next video on how to apply Stoic principles in your daily routine for long-term success. Don't forget to hit subscribe and stay tuned for more insights on mastering your mind and emotions. Remember, Stoicism isn't about perfection, it's about progress. With practice, you can cultivate a more rational, peaceful mind. And as Marcus Aurelius reminds us, the obstacle in the path becomes the path. Embrace the journey and keep growing stronger with each step.